Hello, everybody. I am going to paraphrase some stuff I just read from American Cozy. And forgive me if I've already read this, but I don't remember reading it. But the first one is called Trade Drama for Curiosity. And it talks about how it's not what you do, it's what you think when it comes to your job. And it's talking about taking a minute to consider your attitude towards your job. Basically what it's suggesting is, whatever your job is, are you happy with your job? How do you feel towards your work? It's basically asking you to make a decision to decide if you and your job are compatible, which is the next section. But before I get to that, I'm going to just say this much. If you're in a work position or you're in a job that you're not happy with, in your mind, you're like my old job, one of the jobs that offered me to come back, Dickies. I was half happy with my job, half not happy. And the unhappy part took over. I was always finding stuff to complain about. I was always looking for things to complain about. Because, in fact, I was not really happy there for a lot of different reasons. Now, I'm not going to go into those reasons because it doesn't matter anymore, because I changed jobs. I got outed. I got fired from it, which was fine by me because I was just kind of like, really? Okay. That's great. Maybe, there was a purpose for it. I now have a job that I'm very happy with, and I'm very curious about, and I'm learning all kinds of new things about all kinds of different foods, process, the whole 9 yards. I have not found a single thing yet that basically makes me unhappy. It makes me very curious because one of our execs does a lot of different types of foods every so often because he is part of the catering aspect, and basically it just caters to to certain events in the college. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that because I'm not mentioning names or anything like that. So I get curious, and I watch him, and I watch his. I don't know if that guy is the assistant or not, but I watch what they're doing. I've even talked to them about different food items or cuisines that I do here at the house that I like. The different Nordic foods and whatnot. And one day, I think it was Sunday, I was making a particular item, and I was thinking, ooh, I wonder if you would like a taste of this. Unfortunately, I did not save anything and didn't think about talking to him about it. Actually, I did talk to him about it Friday because I was going to do it Saturday. But I was just kind of like, I wonder. Now, I'm a nice guy. I like to try to get along with people, and I try to, but because I'm learning things from this gentleman, I was almost like, maybe one day on the weekend when I'm doing one of my Nordic dishes, to invite him over to have dinner with us. I'm pretty sure everybody in the house wouldn't mind. But I thought about doing that, but I was like, no, this guy's probably pretty busy all the time, so I'm not going to. Maybe one day in the future, I'll invite him over. He seems to be a very nice guy. So it's just like, I not that I've collected phone numbers and whatnot, but everybody that I work with, yeah, everybody I work with, I would love to invite for like a weekend barbecue or a weekend whatever, but I haven't done that yet because, in fact, I'm still at that stage where it's like I'm still learning about these people. I don't know, what their interests are. I don't know what their life is like, it's that way. But I'm comfortable with my job, and I love it. And my curiosity about my job is like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, how do you do this? How do you do that? That's how I feel about my current job. And not everything, it's not always the same day by day. So every day is almost like a practically different day, because there's always some venue that is doing something different every other day. Like my venue, we do certain things the same every day, but during the week, we switch out certain food items. So it's not always the same stuff all the time. In fact, there's two particular items that I literally have either written down or memorized of how to make certain salads or certain dishes. So actually, I made one here at the house because it's anybody can make it pretty much, but Julie and my wife enjoy it, so it's like, okay, that's going to be a keeper for at least Jerry and Julie while Julie's here. But I'm not a big fan of it because one of the items in it is tomatoes, and I'm not a big tomato fan. The other section that I read just recently is, are you and your job compatible? I feel that I am very compatible with my job. But what it says, it has to do with the factor of, do you get along with your coworkers? Do you enjoy your job? Is it something that you feel that you can do for eternity, basically, almost? So, and curiosity, that's one of my biggest things, is I'm always curious about something. Food, history, geography, science, or at least, I don't know if I'd call it science or just nature. Yeah, I'll call it nature. I'm more interested in nature than science, because I don't care about how you build a rocket or how you make, I get curious about the human body and how it functions, but there's one last part that I kind of want to read to you, but I don't want to read in full. And I agree with this particular sentence. I'm just going to read you this one sentence. And it says, in a Dane's mind, work and life are two separate things. I agree with that, because I've found in the past that if you bring your negative life or negative aspects of your life into work and basically focus more on that than your job, your day is going to go downhill. It's not going to be a good day. Same for if, like, one of the biggest things that was causing a headache between me and Jerry is when I was working at my other job before I got fired, bringing that negative aspect of work of, oh, they didn't do this last night, or they didn't do that, or just things weren't ordered properly, this wasn't done properly, one thing or another. It caused a lot of headaches here at the house because I brought it home and Jerry wanted to know. So, yeah, I try to keep my work life and my home life separate, so it doesn't cause any negativity. But because right now, and I'm hoping it stays this way, I have a lot of positivity about my job. So Jerry sometimes goes, how was work? I'm like, oh, it's great. We did this, we did that. We had X number of customers, blah, blah, blah. Nothing negative. So just talking a little bit about work when you come home, and as long as it's not going to cause a headbutting contest or more issues. I sometimes have a trouble separating life and home right now, because life and home, work is great and it's positive. Home is okay. Yeah, I have some concerns. I have worries about Jerry's health and whatnot, but I don't drag it into work to cause problems. Only once or twice so far, I had to fight back the emotions of breaking down because of, especially Tuesday, finding out, doctor says she's got, stage 4 cancer, which I'm kind of like, no, don't want to, I don't want to consider it cancer until the biopsy on her knee and the reports on that. They don't want to do a biopsy on the kidney. They want to focus on the knee. And I'm like, if the kidney is causing all the problems, maybe you want to focus on the stage 4 possibility. and work, your way down. Try to get that fixed type situation. Okay, and then in that same paragraph that she's talking about Dane's keeping life and work separate is you do one to be able to enjoy the other. So yeah, maybe that's what's been working lately. The fact that I'm enjoying my job, so it makes it easier for me to come home and enjoy life at home. Yeah, there are some negative information lately, but at least I'm enjoying life. And yeah, it may seem easier than done, but easier than. But for the most part, yeah, I understand what she's saying in here between the curiosity of work or life and the compatibility of your job compared to your life. So it's one of those, I guess it's kind of like a balancing act. If you don't like your job, what can you do besides look for another job? And I know in some areas it's kind of hard to look for another job while working a job. But it's also one of those things where it's like, if you don't like your job, what can you do to make it easier on you so the rest of your life is not unpleasant? Some would say, hey, if you don't like it, go someplace else. Others would say, hey, you don't like it, we don't like it, nobody likes it, we just have to tough it out because there's nothing else. Like, for instance, right now, my job has certain kinds of benefits and whatnot. That, in fact, it's a good paying job. Now, if I didn't like it for some reason, I would have a hard time trying to find something just as good, if not better, in my area, because we're a small town. Sorry. But maybe you live in, like, New York. I'm just going to take New York out of instance because I've been there. Been there, lived there, done that. Now, in New York, most of the jobs that I had there, I quit. But I always had, like, another job waiting in the wings. In New York, one of the things that I learned was workers are a dime a dozen. There's always a business, there's always a job, there's always somebody looking for somebody to do a job or work. And they try to hold on to the good workers as best as possible. Before we left New York, before Superstorm Sandy, I'm not going to say a hurricane, Superstorm Sandy came along, I finally found my perfect job. And that was working at the deli in a grocery store. And I loved it. And the people loved me. And we got along. And I was given more responsibility as time went along. And, when Superstorm Sandy hit, my store was flooded. And when everybody was able to get back to their homes or their areas that got flooded and start cleaning out the house, I was called up by my job saying, hey, are you going to come back? We want you to come back. In fact, we need people to help us clean up a little bit. And I said, at this point in time, I need to do my house because I've been away for a week because they wouldn't, well, actually it was more like 3 days, but they wouldn't let us come back in the area for 3 days. So my house is basically a wreck. And they were like, okay, can we make a deal? I said, what's the deal? And they said, can you come up and work for at least 4 hours so we can keep you on the books and whatnot? And then, after those 4 hours, you can go home and do whatever you want. And this was like the time of the year where it's getting colder and my house is starting to get cold and whatnot because we had, basically flood. 3 feet worth of flood water in the house. The other 2 feet, it would have been 5 feet, but it was only 3 feet because we had 2 feet worth of crawl space. I was like, so basically work part-time right now, and then once I'm done with my issues in my house and whatnot and get that taken care of. We'll go back to full-time. They're like, yeah. So I did that. It was one of the few jobs that I really wanted to stick with and enjoy in New York. But because of certain issues with the other three jobs that I had, one of them was just poor management and whatnot, and I quit them. The other two was distance, driving an hour and a half at the butt crack of dawn to get to either job. No. Especially the one, because the one, even though there was nobody else on the particular roads that I was on, I was falling asleep at the wheel and waking up finding myself going at 80 miles per hour. No. Did not want to risk a car accident. So, yeah. But this particular job that I have now, I'm going to do everything that I can to keep it because it's a really good job. Yes, there are days where it's stressful because I'm trying to do what I need to do for my venue, and it's either A, somebody else is causing a ruckus, or B, everybody's coming to me for some reason to get this out of the oven, get that out of the walk-in refrigerator, get something off of a high shelf. Can you help me prep foods or produce or whatnot for my venue? And I'm like, yeah, let me just finish mine real quick and I'll get to yours. And I guess the reason why that happens is because, in fact, when I get into work, it's just like, okay, what do I need? Boom, 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 I'm done. And then I have 2.5 hours or more before everything starts to open up and people are like, oh, you have nothing to do? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And I'm like, sure, no problem. I have no problem doing that because it's like, it makes me feel good because I'm helping other people, not just myself or not just my venue. I'm helping other people with theirs. So it makes me feel good. And I feel very compatible. I feel like I've fallen into my niche or whatever. But anyhow, sorry, my nose is stuffy, so I'm sniffling. I should have brought a handkerchief to basically go off camera and blow, but I'm pretty sure you guys would hear that anyhow. The next area that I'm going to try to read later on this evening, if I get some time to do that, is called Cozy... Well, actually, I'm probably going to skip that. It's basically a cozy style, simply looking your best. I might read over it just to see what it talks about, because there might be information in here for men, but I am about 75% sure that most of it probably goes closer to being for the ladies. But since, oh, this is like the last area before we get into the acknowledgments and all that stuff. So we are literally at the end of the book. I just have to read this particular section, and then it's all about the biographies and the acknowledgments and further readings and all that fun stuff. Well, it's got a little bit in here about the author. Cool. So yeah, this is the final chapter, chapter 10. It's all about, you know, your style, your cozy style. So I will try to read that later. This video, even though I'm recording it on Thursday, probably will not pop up until Friday, since I don't think I'll have a chance to do a video Friday because, well, like I said in the earlier video, Friday we will probably be in Springfield for at least a minimum of 9 hours, depending on procedure time for Jerry's biopsy and her recovery time and all that fun stuff. So until Saturday, I will talk to you guys then. You guys have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. Oh, yeah. And just because my brain just popped into action. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this, go ahead and put it in the comment box. If you're new to my channel and you have either watched the various segments of American Cozy, and you liked it, and you haven't decided yet, or maybe this video is your deciding video, you can hit the subscribe button, and once you do that, a little bell will pop up, and once you click on that bell, YouTube will let you know when my next video comes out. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Bye.